What the fuck is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video on the YouTube channel. I'm AJ, and we're going to be talking MMA. Today, I'm joined by a special guest by the name of none other than.
FRAZZLE MMA. We're going to be doing UFC 300 picks with Parlay of the Week and Best Bets.
All right, guys. Obviously, UFC 300, this is a really big card, so we've been studying a lot for this card. We have a lot of picks that we feel are good, and obviously, you guys can look forward to Parlay of the Week and the Lock of the Weeks. Lock of the Week. So, let's get into the first fight here. Deiveson Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. Okay, so let's get into the
So,
first fight on the card. Deiveson Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. So I can start this one off, Frazzle. I'm gonna pick Deiveson Figueiredo. Uh, I simply think that Cody Garbrandt. I think he has a career resurgence going on, but Deiveson Figueiredo is too much of a task, especially considering that Deiveson Figueiredo hits very hard, and Cody Garbrandt's chin, it's been cracked a few times recently. So, what do you think?
yeah. Cody always has a puncher's chance. He has good punching power. And, there is always a slight chance that he could knock Figgy out. But especially after considering Figgy's debut at bantamweight, how he demolished Rob Font. Uh, and considering, obviously, his past at flyweight, I would say
The
that
casual, bro.
Figgy,
Get off my
I would
show.
say Figgy is a lock. I would say I'm faded. Figgy's a lock though.
Well, you what? Yeah, he's faded on the channel, but we're gonna move on. Okay. Well, first of all, I agree. Figgy, I'm gonna consider him a lock. Like we can reveal that early. Like we're gonna spoil it. Figgy's a lock.
One of the
You agree?
biggest.
Yeah. I'm gonna predict round two knockout. How about you?
I think that honestly, I'm thinking a submission round.
Okay.
I'm feeling round two as well,
Okay. We can look at the odds for that later, but submission that would probably be pretty
or
good.
or round one, honestly, because I feel like he's just gonna go in there and go crazy. Like
All right. Let's move on to the next fight. We have Bobby Green versus Jim Miller in the lightweight division.
tough one.
All right, do you want to start this one off?
Nah, I'll let you go first.
All right, bro. So for this one, I'm actually go with the underdog here, Jim Miller. Despite being 40 years old, you know, Bobby Green, he's almost 38. Like it's not like he's that much older than Bobby Green. And the main thing is that I think one guy is on the way out, and one guy is obviously Bobby Green's been at a higher level, but I think after taking so much damage recently against Jalen Turner and Jim Miller having like a really good right hand, as he's recently, gotten a lot of knockouts. I think he can knock out Bobby Green or at least hurt him and win this fight. So I'm gonna go with Jim Miller. Could be by knockout, but I'm gonna say decision. But Bobby Green obviously has a good chance. His performance versus Grant Dawson was really good, but yeah, what do you think?
I actually think Bobby Green is gonna get this one, even though you did have a good point with him getting very hurt and that late stoppage versus Turner. That's what was making me also feel like picking Miller at some points. But I think in the end, Bobby Green is just higher level. Miller has been in this for so long, and he's not been at Bobby Green's level at the moment. And not saying he's been super high level, but he's still ranked at least and all that. So yeah, I would say Bobby Green by decision.
All right. So yeah, I don't know if I'm a bet on that fight, but actually, if I see Jim Miller, like I might get tempted by those odds later in the week. So
Jim Miller KO, yeah.
yeah, Jim Miller KO
Is a
especially.
chance.
Next up, we have a very exciting fight in the lightweight division: Jalen Turner versus Renato Moicano. Money Moicano. Moicano loves money. MMA guru, you're a pig. Uh, Great matchup. You start this one off, buddy.
I'm thinking I don't want to pick the favorite for the third time in a row, but I'm gonna have to do it. I'm thinking Turner. I'm thinking Turner. Honestly, I think I don't know is if it's between knockout or decision. But the reason I'd say I'm picking Turner is because like he is just like way longer. Considering a lot of people thought that he was cutting too much weight and could have like like maybe a suspect chin that could get exposed since he was cutting so much weight. For example, like happened to Alex Pereira in the fourth fight versus Israel Adesanya for cutting too much weight. But he actually showed that he could make weight on short notice versus that fight against Bobby Green. Um, and considering the fact that he made that on like quite short notice, most people thought he was going to miss weight, and he made weight seeming pretty comfortable on the scale. Didn't seem to have any issues. So I think like he's kind of like he has a lot more to show so far, Turner, and I think that he can beat Moicano. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a knockout, but I feel like decision is the more likely pick, but I could see a knockout as well. But Moicano is a lot better, I think, than Bobby Green, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to
Yeah, not
survive the
Bobby
KO.
Green, buddy. Renato Moicano.
I said Moicano is a lot better than Bobby Green.
Okay, whatever you said, bro. But
All right. Fuck you, bitch.
okay, so I do agree with most of what you're saying, but I'm gonna pick Renato Moicano. Jalen Turner, he can beat Moicano, but I don't think he will. Okay, so we have to remember UFC 300, big stage. I just think Renato Moicano, he had a good performance versus Drew Dober, and if he can, I think Drew Dober probably has better grappling defense and wrestling than Jalen Turner. And also, like Jalen Turner is very lanky, which obviously could be very good for takedown defense. But I think once he's on the ground, he won't be too good. And we saw Renato Moicano was able to hold down Dober a lot in their last fight. And I'm loving these odds for Moicano. I think he can hold his own on the feet. But obviously, he shouldn't stay on the feet for too long. But if he gets like two takedowns, two takedowns in 2 rounds, he can easily get this decision, or he could get a submission. I just think Moicano, he's hungry right now, and he's on a upwards trajectory in his career. So yeah, I'm loving the value on him, but definitely a close fight.
No, he does have good value, I'd say.
But
Like Turner is more of a favorite than I think he should be.
yeah, I agree. So next up we have Sodiq Yusuff versus Diego Lopes. Obviously, Diego Lopes is a fan favorite nowadays, and
He was the underdog his last fight though. That surprised me.
yeah, but yeah, that's true. But a lot, he's getting a lot of traction right now, and this fight is the odds are very even. And obviously, Sadiq Yusuff has looked pretty good. But I just think Diego Lopes is going to be too explosive within this 3 round fight. And he should be able to have the bigger moments. But striking wise, I think Yusuff could outstrike Lopes if they get into close exchanges. But if Lopes is just able to get it down and work his jiu jitsu, he could make this look not easy, but he could do this pretty well. So, yeah, the grappling he showed versus Movsar Evlov was just it was yeah, it was very good. Like it looked promising.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pick Diego Lopes, and the value is pretty good on him.
Yeah, I'd go for Lopez. I was thinking submission as well. After seeing his amazing grappling skills against Evloev in stadium in attendance too, I would say that he impressed me very much, and that I do not think he's overhyped or anything because there is a lot of hype around him, and no, I don't want to count Yusuff out too much, but I just feel like Lopez is going to be able to beat him, finish him. So I think that if he doesn't submit him, I think it will be a knockout. But I'm going for submission.
All right. Next up, we got Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling. So Aljamain Sterling, first time moving up to featherweight, I believe. It's going to be a very exciting matchup just to see how he's going to do in this division and at this point in his career. We can't forget, people were really hyping him up in the bantamweight division as one of the best champs of all time. Obviously, I can't agree with that. I don't think you can either, Frazzle, but He was.
Nah, I mean, he did have the most title defenses of all time, but I do not think he is the bantamweight goat like many people said at
Yeah.
all.
So he's minus 140 here. It's a bit of a striker versus grappler matchup, or yeah, it is, and 3 rounds. Kattar, I know he's been injured a lot recently. Last fight 2022 where he got the injury. Before that, lost to Ahmed, win over Giga, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. Aljamain Sterling's record is obviously very good. We've just lost to O'Malley, but that could be worrying about his chin. But I'm gonna pick Aljamain Sterling here. I just think if he can take Kattar down, especially he's I feel like the injury could get to him now at this stage. What? All right, bro. What do you think? I think Aljo wins.
I would agree. I would say Sterling can get the win. Like I said before, I do not rate him too highly, like a lot of people do, but I do think that he will be better at featherweight because I do think he was cutting too much weight. He was complaining about it a lot, and it was clearly taking a toll on him then. And a lot of fighters, when they do move up after having a problem with cutting too much weight, they end up doing better. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if Sterling was one of them. And I also think that Kattar is a not that bad of a matchup for him. I was surprised that they didn't give him someone up higher, like someone like Max Holloway, which a lot of people were calling for, even though we know who would probably win that. So, but I'd say Sterling, he'll probably be able to beat Kattar. Um, I'd say by decision most likely, but yeah, I'd say like he could get the submission, but I'd
Yeah,
say decision.
for it. So we both picked Aljo. Now I think we're getting close to the main event here. Final prelim here. Yuri Prohaska versus Alexander Rakic. Do you want to start this one off?
Nah, you start this one.
Like every other one? I were. So I'm gonna pick. This one's really close, as we can see by the odds. Um, Yuri, I don't think he looked too bad against Alex Pereira, but he has had injuries, a lot of layoffs. So has Rakic. Uh, I'm gonna have to go for Yuri to get it done here. 3 round fight. I think he can be explosive enough. This is going to be a really hard fight to predict, and probably not one to bet on unless you have a really strong conviction for either. But I'll pick Yuri. It would be cool if he got the knockout, but yeah, I'll pick Yuri. But Rakic, very good all around fighter, good everywhere. So close fight. Who you got?
I agree with what you're saying, and but I do think that if Yuri wins, I think that he could win by knockout. He is like we know very dangerous. I'm like he could pull something off like a spinning elbow, like against Dominic Reyes, or he has anything. He has many weapons in his pocket, and
Tools in his
I
arsenal.
think that he will be in his arsenal. Yeah, yeah. And I think that he will be able to pull it off, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rakic beat him because like it could be one of those like Peter Yan versus Merab moments where everyone thinks Peter Yan is probably going to win, favorite and all that, and then the up and comer just comes out of nowhere, destroys him. So I wouldn't be too surprised, but I hope and I think that Yuri will win, and I think that if it goes to decision, I would probably say Rakic is more likely, but I do think most likely is a Yuri knockout.
All right. Uh,
Considering that I think that he will be even more motivated than ever after his last fight against Pereira.
yeah, that makes sense. So next we have Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage to start off the main card. We're just getting into this one quickly. I got Bo Nickel. Who you got?
Um, I'd say this is a tough one.
Yep.
I honestly think that Cody Brundage
Get
is
it
gonna
off.
get it off. I think he got this by Kumsock.
Oh, word.
No, no, no. Bo Nickel. Easy one. Probably finish first or second round, obviously. They might want to screw over the betters and tell them to wait till the third round or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's rigged. I don't know. Maybe I'm just smacked, but I think that Bo Nickal will win by finish.
Okay. Next up, we have probably the most exciting fight on this card: Charles Oliveira versus
Second
Arman
one.
Tsarukyan. Start this one off, buddy. Let's hear it.
Okay. This one is a tough one. It had me torn at times, but the closer we get to the fight, the more I feel like it's Oliveira season. And I think that he's gonna Oliveira. You know, we know what he does. He doesn't go to decision. He finishes them. So I think Oliveira finished round 1 or 2 probably. He's just insane. I think Arman will be one of his toughest challenges, but I think that maybe later if it was later on, Charles was older, Arman was more experienced, older. His best opponent so far is Dariush, who was coming off a knockout in the first round against Oliveira. So I think that most likely Oliveira will get round 1 or 2 finish. If I had to pick between submission or knockout, I would probably say um, knockout. I would say knockout, even though I wouldn't be surprised if he got a submission first round. But yeah, Armando, he could if I think that he could be able to defend Oliveira's offense enough, and if he's able to stuff takedowns, have a good grappling defense, I think he could take it to decision, land some big shots, and maybe have win by decision. If it goes to decision, Arman could be more likely to win. Charles could obviously win by decision too, but I just think he's a finishing guy.
So yeah, I agree with everything you're saying pretty much. Initially, I was on Arman Tsarukyan to win this fight, and I still think he has a large chance to win this by decision, and that's a really good, especially a hedge bet for Oliveira's value. If you hedge
Yeah, I
Tsarukyan,
agree.
yeah, by decision. But eventually, I realized that Oliveira is just like a different level. I really think he did have a bad performance versus Islam on that day, and like he is better than that. So
Yeah,
I think he gets the finish here around 1 or 2. It's gonna be incredible to see, but yeah, I mean, I guess he could win a decision. Anything can happen, but most likely finish. I'd say TKO probably. Yeah, but liking his odds, his value is great.
it's crazy. Honestly, I'm surprised that he's an underdog. I forgot to mention that. I wasn't too surprised at first. Kind of that's how it always is with the odds. Um, they normally sway you to not think that they're crazy, but the first I don't know, not crazy, but uh, inaccurate. But later on, we get into this fight, closer to this fight. I think that these odds are quite
Yeah,
madness, rare up under huge underdog lock. That's what I would say.
a lot of work. Okay, so next fight on the card is Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. 5 rounds for the BMF belt at lightweight. So, do you want to start this one off?
I'll start off. Okay, so we all know AJ is a Hamza rider, gagger, whatever word you want to
I
use.
go.
I I wouldn't get mad if people use that term for me, for the way I admire Gaethje and his fighting ability. I think that he can beat Holloway. I think he will can be the first person to knock him down, and even could be the first person to knock him out TKO because he ain't going out cold. And but I will be honest, as a huge Gaethje fan, I am scared for my life. I think that Holloway is not as big as an underdog as he should be. I think that the odds should be closer, and I think that there is a very high chance that Holloway could win by decision. I do not see him stopping Gaethje. Yes, people could say late fourth, fifth round, like the Dustin fight. That's possible too, but I think Gaethje the only way he loses is if it's like a close fight, like getting close, like not getting demolished, not getting finished. I could maybe Max could slightly outbox him, slightly outstrike him, but I think that if it goes to decision, it most likely will be Gaethje. I think he'll put a clinic on Max, and I think that if it doesn't go to decision, it will be a finish. But probably I'd say decision since Max Holloway has an unbelievable chin.
You guys already know I'm on Max Holloway. Blessed is best, baby. All right. This time it's gonna be different at lightweight. I just think he's gonna have the volume over Justin Gaethje, especially when it's 5 rounds. You know, this suits him a lot. The odds are amazing. I think I'm gonna bet on Holloway. I think he has a lot of value in him. Obviously, this is going to be a close fight. I think it's going to be a 48-47 Holloway, potentially 49-46. Well, I just think his chin is too good, and we don't see Gaethje knocking out too many people, to be honest. So I'm on Max Holloway in this one. Really excited for this fight, though. Okay,
It's
next
well
up,
said.
we have Weili Zhang versus Xiaonan Yan. I'm just gonna go over this one quickly. I think Xiaonan Yan has a really good chance of winning this if she has the perfect game plan and is able to stop the takedowns of Wei Li. And I think her striking is really good, and she uses her reach and such very well. But overall, I think Wei Li Zhang is just going to be too strong, be able to get the takedowns, and beat Xiaonan Yan, possibly getting a stoppage on the ground, but most likely decision. But yeah, Xiaonan Yan, like the odds, I think Wei Li Zhang is a bit too large of a favorite. So, what do you think?
I think that Weili Zhang is gonna win, but I'm not gonna lie, I am not nearly as knowledgeable on women's MMA as I am men's. So I don't know if it will be by knockout finish because there was that other fight at 292 that she demolished the
Brundage.
woman, but yeah, but didn't finish her.
Oh,
So I don't know how it'll go, but I think that Wei
rematch.
Li could win, even though I know that the other Chinese one is very good.
Lem. Yeah. Okay.
Main event time.
Lastly, we have the main event of UFC 300: Alex Poatan Pereira versus Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill. This fight, it got announced pretty late, but very close fight. The odds, as we can see, are very close. Jamal Hill currently an underdog, but the odds have been swinging back and forth a bit. I think Jamal Hill was a bigger underdog earlier in the week. Uh, it's interesting to note both of these guys don't have a lot of fights. Um, I've been thinking both guys have a large chance of winning. It's really at this light heavyweight division, they both have that knockout power that you can't be convinced that one guy is going to win, like clearly, because really we all know anything could happen. But I do see Jamal Hill getting it done and getting back his belt. Underdog odds, I love it. I think he gets the knockout, similar to, or not similar to how Izzy cracked the Pereira, but I just think that's a great example how Pereira can be cracked, and I don't think his striking is as slick anymore. The greatest threat is going to be the leg kicks because we know Jamal Hill is coming off the Achilles tear, and that's a wild injury to have, and Pereira's leg kicks are really dangerous. So that's the biggest threat in my opinion. But I think Jamal Hill gets the knockout here. Who you got?
Yeah, that's what I about the Achilles torn Achilles. That's what I was about to say. That for me, that's a huge factor in this fight, considering that Alex Pereira has some of the best leg kicks in the UFC, especially considering they're some of the hardest, if not the hardest ones to check, since he does them so subtle while adding so much power at the same time. So I would like that is the one thing tearing me because if it wasn't for the Achilles injury and those leg kicks, I would be pretty confident in picking Hill. Even though I love Pereira, I would say like what considering his last fight against Yuri, I did see a knockout coming before and during the fight from the way that the fight was going. You could see that he was knockout baiting, just not he was going slow, just waiting for that counter knockout. But I don't think that that will work against Hill, and I do think that the reason why he was doing that is because he's kind of getting old. He hasn't treated his body the best way as most of these athletes have, he has gone through periods, of like alcoholism, other drugs, like or smoking,
And
weed, cigarettes, whatever, and
opium.
and basically, I think that like it could be the fact that even though he is a light heavyweight, and the heavier divisions, the age tends to slow you down, slow less, and you can go on for longer. I think it seems like he's slowing down. Even the fight against Blakovic, of course, the fight against Izzy, he got knocked out. Yeah, even though I think he did look good in that fight before the knockout. Was looking slick. It looked like he was fighting better than he did in the first fight against Izzy, or third technically. But um, I just think he's older, slower, less stamina. Hill's, fast. I think he will outbox him, likely knock him out. The only thing that got me concerned, like I said, is the leg kicks and the torn Achilles. So I would say that there is a chance for Pereira messing up his legs, messing up Hill's movement. And if Hill cannot move well, it will be a lot easier for Pereira to, strike with him, knock him out. But I think most likely I will have to go with Jamal Hill knockout TKO in round 2 or 3, latest 4.
Yeah. So we're both on the Jamal Hill side to end the great card as UFC 300. Very excited for this one. Uh, Now we're gonna get into the lock of the week and the parlay of the week.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling. Got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no.
All right, so we're gonna start off with the lock of the week. Okay, so I don't want to pick anyone too chalky here. My actual lock would probably be Davison Figueiredo, but to get some better odds, I think my lock of the week is gonna be Diego Lopes. I think he gets it done, and the value is great on him. So I got Diego Lopes as the lock of the week for me. Who you got?
My lock of the week, I would say, is like I would say Diego Lopez, but I would say the value bet of the week is Oliveira. So value bet of the week, Oliveira. Lock of the week, I'd say I'm even more confident in Lopez than I am in Figgy, because like you guys heard me talk about him earlier in the video. I think he's very talented.
Or fair. Okay, so let's move on to the parlay of the week. So for this parlay, I'm gonna add Diego Lopez, and then I'm gonna take Davison Figueiredo.
Wait, who?
Figgy and Lopez. So this parlay is plus 134. Uh, yeah, I'll probably put 1 or 2 units on this parlay. Think it hits. So who do you have in your parlay of the week?
Wait, the odds for just Figgy and Lopez are, what'd you say? 2.3?
Plus 130.
Plus one, yeah, 2.3. Damn, okay. So I'd say that sounds good, but I'd say I'd do them two.
Right.
Lopez, Figueiredo, and I'll add in the third Brazilian, you know. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not talking about Pereira. I'm talking about Chale do Bron.
That's a cold parlay. Let's see.
What's the odds for that?
Let's
Let's see. Do 2.3 times 2.5, right? Oliveira's 2.5, right?
He's more now. He's 2.8.
2.8.
Yeah. This parlay is almost
Bro,
six.
he went up. He was just plus 150 before.
Yeah, him and Holloway switched odds hella. Well, yeah.
All right, so that means that 2.8 times, I'm gonna do my odds calculation. 2.8 times 2.3. My odds are 6.44, and I will be placing half a unit on that.
All right, that's pretty cool. I might tail that one too. I got Oliveira too. So
That it will pay out to more than 3 units.
yeah, personally, I might sneak in Max Holloway in the Parleasy just to get that plus 1500. And then, for this
Yeah,
bits,
you'll mess it up.
you can add Hill.
I'm not gonna lie, a hill added in that for like
Or
a
Nickal for some
even
value.
smaller bet would be cold.
Yeah. But yeah.
At that point, I make my long parlay too, which I do think would be a good idea. Where you make a longer parlay and you do add in. You would add in. Now, honestly, there's not that many other good plays to add in because Yuri, I did pick him, but he's not that likely. Sterling, not that likely. Probably if I was gonna pick someone else to add into a smaller parlay, I would pick Sterling.
Yeah. But yeah, that's good value. So yeah, we might play some more parlays down the week, but these parlays should hit. I mean, Oliveira odds are against him, but probably gets it done in both our opinions. Figgy and Lopes value, and yeah, I think Holloway wins.
I think he's not that value, but he's
Yeah,
worth
he's
it.
not that value to be honest. Cody Garbrandt could look really good. We never know, but yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Frazzle, you got anything to say?
Um, Lucas Tracy MMA. I will fuck you up if you are too pussy to fuck up my boy AJ. Or fight my boy AJ. Um, and if you're trying to get a 2-on-2, tag fight or 2-on-2 at once in the cage, whatever, with MMA Guru, you fat fuck. I'm ready to run it. AJ's ready to run it.
That's right.
So don't be pussy.
Yeah, we fuck your shit up. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Peace.
Peace out.